After all, education is the foundation for expanding opportunities, transforming economies, fighting intolerance, protecting our planet, and achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. As the world continues to battle the pandemic, education, as a fundamental right and a global public good, must be protected to avert a generational catastrophe.
Today we celebrate the World Day of Education, and we also celebrate the launch of such an important new book, Who Stole Their Youth?
While I was reading this book, two things came to my mind. What an absurd government! And what if it was me who had to face such absurdity? What was I supposed to do? Could I sustain 24 years? Could you, who knew our beloved country, could hurt us so? Our tears were exhausted. Many people who were involved have passed away. We won't compromise anymore. I believe injustice will eventually be rectified. I won't allow the truth to be treated as lies. I sincerely hope that Taiwan will become a country that truly values human rights, so that my children and grandchildren will be able to continue to live on this land of democracy and freedom.
That's why I think that staunch opposition of Taijimen to the false accusations of tax evasion plays a great role for the democratic climate in Taiwan. If people are not aware of such injustice, things might change for the worse. It looks like it started to happen in Taiwan already, actually. First one is made, pay unjust taxes, then once property is confiscated, as in the case of Dr. Huang. Next, one might be accused of religious extremism. It's exactly what happened in Russia, and I would not like it to happen in Taiwan.
Unfortunately, we can notice that this is the same strategy that it is used to destroy spiritual groups that disturb states for various reasons. Unable to find any fault that violates the law, the states deflect their own tax regulations in order to undermine these peaceful movements. Those cases we have just seen show that despite the fact that it is a long and difficult fight, it can be won.
The case of Taijimen gets us to the connection between religious freedom and taxes. This is not also the battle for private money, for economic independence of family, individuals, and groups, especially religious groups and organizations, is not primarily a matter of money, is a matter of principle. It deals with money, of course, but it's not money the first point. The first point is to have the right to religious freedom and to sustain the public life that comes directly, the public behavior that groups and individuals have when they join religious groups. And money is a substantial part of defending that no-fly zone upon which the state should never fly.
One can choose to hide this painful memory or to look back with tears of sadness and resentment. But we decided to bring to light these memories in hope to save this country and its people. We insist on doing the right thing. In addition, Taijimen case is not an exception. There are many similar cases of persecution by the tax bureau. We hope more people will get to know the truth and fight for our rights as taxpayers.
The Taijimen case is a typical case of human rights violations by the government. In addition to the legal means, the Taiwan government has used taxation to violate the people's rights to freedom of belief, their right to participate in cultural life, and their right to freedom of speech and freedom of assembly and association. It is also a case that goes against the people's quest for truth and justice. The case revealed forgery, fabricated evidence, fabricated amount of money, fake law, and the fact that the case was fabricated for political reasons. This case also involves bullying, corruption, and profiteering. So when we review the Taijimen case, we will find that it has three main characteristics: fabrication, bullying, and corruption. We found that one of the problems with the case is that the government did not protect human rights, but it protects the officials' power instead. A few government officers committed crimes, but they have not been punished, and the mistake have not been corrected. This problem shows that the government agency acted arbitrarily in exercising its discretion and its anti-human rights, that is, abusing its power. This also shows the problem of violations of the law in its handling of the case.
One of the problems with the legal education in Taiwan is that we put too much emphasis on description in words, but in practice we obviously lack a deeper understanding of the application of some cases. The Taijimen test case at the constitutional level involves whether the government infringes on only the property rights of the taxpayers, namely the people. In fact, the people include Taijimen itself and Taijimen Shifu, master, and Dizi, disciples. If we limit the rights only to property rights, we can easily overlook the fact that a very important type of fundamental constitutional rights includes the right to participate in cultural life and the right to freedom of religion in addition to property rights. There are also Taijimen Shifu and Dizi rights to survival and personal freedom. Regarding the compensation for unlawful imprisonment for the victims in the Taijimen case, we can see that the prosecutorial investigation procedure was not careful enough.
There is an unreasonable law that requires people to pay half of the tax amount or an equivalent guarantee during the phase of a petition. Otherwise, the enforcement agency could enforce their property, meaning that the administrative agency can dispose of people's assets based on the tax bill. In such an administrative relief system, tax officers and taxpayers are not treated equally, which substantially deprives the people of their right to relief and is against the two international covenants, ICCPR and ICESCR.
Taijimen offers a lifelong learning opportunity. It provides me with a wholesome education that benefits not only to my overall health, but also tremendously to my personal and spiritual growth through self-cultivation and self-reflection. Shifu also guides me to be helpful to my community and brings positives to the humanity. All of this I couldn't have learned from the formal education at school nor at university. There's no doubt that the wisdom that I got from Taijimen will continuously benefit me for the rest of my life journey. The lifelong mentorship I received from my Shifu is priceless and couldn't have been paid by a tuition fee. For the National Taxation Bureau in Taiwan to claim my gift to Shifu as a taxable income from tuition fee is unreasonable and ridiculous.
This is the reason prosecutors must adhere to the principle of secret investigation. Unfortunately, Prosecutor Ho violated this principle during the investigation of Taijimen's case. During more than 400 false reports during the 4-month period of the investigation, and more than 70 broadcasts by 12 TV stations, seriously infringing on human rights of Taijimen, Shifu, and Dizi, becoming the worst education of society. It is incredible that Prosecutor Ho was not punished for it and was even promoted to become Deputy Director of the Agency Against Corruption of the Ministry of Justice.
This is what Taijimen has been doing for decades, teaching and training the Dizis to live according to their conscience and according to their spiritual values, whatever the price to be paid, and never to compromise. Integrity, dignity, respect, compassion, love, and peace are at the heart of their values and of their life. Taijimen's teachings made the Dizis aware of good and evil. The followers of Taiji Man have learned in the hard way an important thing. If they didn't find themselves for their rights, nobody would do it for them. And they courageously did it. They did it very courageously, I must say. Some were not even born when the case started, and others died in the meantime. Taiji Man made the right choice, but a difficult choice. Taiji Man preferred to spend the necessary time, energy, and financial means for justice with a capital J, whatever the cost. Justice not only for themselves, but for all those who are victims of the oppression of the tax administration. Taiji Man's battle is not only for Taiji Man and his disease, it is a battle for the well-being of all the Taiwanese, for Taiwanese society, and for the image of Taiwan on the international scene. Taiji Man's education program raises and awakens the consciences of those who thirst for righteousness. The conference, Education, Conscience, and Text Justice, and the book Who Stole Their Youth perfectly reflect the battle for justice with a capital J, fought by Taiji Man and the disease. In the fire of oppression, they have shown a dead-rock face in their values, and they have passed the torch to the next generation.
Taiji Man case teaches us that no democratic society is fully democratic, and we have to be continuously vigilant not to start going to a slippery slope, because democracy is never to be taken for granted and can easily slip into a post-democratic situation.